Hello and welcome to Soundbites. I'm your host, Holly Whitfield from the Daily Memphian, here with Matteo Servente, the founder of Matto Gelato in Memphis. Hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Holly. Thanks for having me.
We are going to talk to Matteo all about his Memphis-based company, how a person goes from being a filmmaker to a gelato shop owner, what it's like making all of this delicious, cold, creamy desserts by hand, and what it's like to own a shop downtown, and probably some more fun stuff. But first, Soundbites is the Daily Memphian's weekly food dining podcast. It's a part of our free podcast series. You can hear new episodes every week on WYXR Radio, Thursdays at 11. If you search Soundbites Daily Memphian on iTunes or Spotify, we will come up. You can subscribe there. You can even stream episodes at dailymemphian.com. If you are listening right now on WYXR, up next, tune into the Sidebar podcast with our Daily Memphian CEO, Eric Barnes. It's Sidebar. It's arts and culture interviews with Memphians and Mid-Southerners. But let's get started again with Matteo. Thank you again for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We have had some mentions. We've kind of been teasing out Matto for a while, I guess, on Soundbites. We've had several of our staffers mention you guys. Sophia Sarah, our business reporter, she said it was one of her favorite things she likes to indulge in is your shop in particular. Chris Harrington's giving you a shout out. So I just had to get to the source. Tell us about yourself and how you got to Memphis.
I'm originally from Torino, Italy, which is northwest, very close to France. It's a very culinary rich region of Italy. And ended up getting to Memphis for the first time around 2005. So that's almost 20 years.
Yes.
And yes, it's a long time. And more permanently in 2008, 2009.
Okay.
That's when I ended up here. The connection to Memphis is through my friend Sarah Ledbetter, whom I met in film school in France. And she and I started working together on projects. And so I started making Memphis our American base for projects, etc. And just gradually, like it happens for a lot of people, I've kind of fell in love with the place and the people, and decided to stick around. Had no idea how long I'd be here, but as I said, do the math. 20 years later, here yes. I am still.
This will be my 20th year in Memphis as well.
Yeah,
this year. So here we are.
Exactly. I mean, as I said, it's more like 16, 17, 18, but still,
officially.
we're the first visit was definitely 20 years ago. And so as I said, I met Sarah in film school. So that's my background. I've been basically, since I moved to Memphis, my focus was to make films and video, which I did and I still do.
What kinds of films and video?
They're all a lot of different things. I made a lot of narrative work. Lately, I've shifted a little bit more towards documentary.
Right. And
most recently, I've created a documentary on the new Tom Lee Park with my creative partners at Last Bite Films, and a movie about Tom Lee that just released, for Tom Lee Day in May. And so, I'm always looking.
Amazing.
I'm
Very
still
Memphis.
looking. Yes, exactly. Always looking for video projects to keep that side of my brain and my life engaged. But then, pandemic happened, and I've had this gelato idea in my mind, and I was like, maybe we should try it. And one thing led to the other, and the business started.
Okay, I'm gonna get more into the one thing leading to another.
Yes.
Tell us about the beginnings of the gelato. Did you just wake up one day and you were like, I want to make this for myself? I mean, because you can get gelato.
Yes.
Why did you decide to make your own?
I always wake up with crazy ideas, I guess. But this time,
that's fun.
This was more like a slowly developed idea. I've always loved to cook and entertain for my friends, and of course, the Italian theme has always been my thing. So from pasta to pizza, etc. And the business thought was, again, something that slowly developed in my mind. And I ended up randomly meeting somebody in Italy who makes gelato in this very artisanal and homemade way and handmade. And that sort of got me started. It's more doable than just having like the massive, equipment investment, etc. So I could start doing it myself and
start small, so to
start
speak.
very small. And then when the pandemic happened, I was in the process of looking around, see if there was a location, how to start the business, etc., which I know nothing about. Well, I knew nothing about then. I know very, very little now.
Yes. Just enough to be dangerous.
Exactly. And so I got started, and we, and the whole thing took off on its own a little bit with a lot of work behind it. But yes.
I am going to ask you to kind of walk me through how you make a batch of Zio Matto gelato, because I think people don't know, and I actually didn't realize this until your colleague Ryan Watt emailed us this week, which thank you, Ryan. He said he is an avid listener of Sound Bites.
Yes, we
which
both
is
are.
like, yes. Oh, thank you so much. Well, last week I was like, hey, listeners, if you have ideas for guests or themes or any questions you want to answer, just email me at hwhitfield@dailymemphian.com. I repeat that invitation now, but Ryan was immediately like, oh, hey, we have a story.
He's good at that.
I didn't realize you were making it all by hand. Like,
yes.
Personally,
it is all
yourself, Matteo.
handmade. Yes, everything you had that has Zio Matto Gelato brand on it, I've made it myself. The method that we use is really homemade mixing each batch. We work on small batches, of course, because there's only so much volume that you can stir and mix by hand. And of course, it used to be the way it was made back in the day, before all the machines. And we kind of brought it back, and it allows us to, as I said, to make everything by hand and have perfect control over each individual batch. And it's, where we, other than, some KitchenAid mixers, a little bit larger than maybe the one you have at home, but still, it's like, that's what we use. And then the final mix, I all do, by hand.
You got to put your love into each little batch.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what you taste, among other things, among the ingredients. Yes.
Okay, so I know there's an ice cream school. Mm-hmm. Is there a gelato school?
I guess there's plenty of gelato schools. Yeah. I only did the thing through this guy in Italy who taught me the craft.
So you sort of traveled back to where you're originally from.
Yes, in Torino. And I travel there a couple of times a year because my family's still there, and so I go there and visit. And especially, since my son was born, I try to go as often as I can to just give him a full experience of the whole family as early as it can happen. And so, as I said, I met this person who's very good at just being available. Not only did he teach me everything, but he's also very available to give me new recipes and test new flavors or new ideas that I launch, because sometimes I ask for things that are not so popular in Italy, but are in demand over here.
Such as,
the main thing that I always mention is the mint chocolate flavor, which when I started thinking about the business, I was like, I wonder what the most popular flavors are in the US. And mint chocolate is... And it's not that it doesn't exist in Italy, but it's really not as popular at all. Mm-hmm. So, recipes that maybe he never really had to try, he had to put it together. And so I give him ideas, he tries, I test them here and see if they reach the audience, and the results are good.
Well, I think with the small batch, you're able to test out those seasonal flavors. So tell me first tell us where can you get this gelato?
Well,
several places.
Yes, the main place where you can get it is in our gelateria, which is on South Main, inside the Central Station building on the G. Patterson side of the building, across the street from Ernest and Hazel's. We also sell prepackaged cups in a lot of different locations, like High Point, South Point, Cordelia's, Lucchese's, and all these other independent shops.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
What about Super Low?
Super low, no. We have not tried. We used to be a cash saver. And then, it's also like a way for us to test where it works. And so we've done this wholesale thing since the beginning, which was 5 years ago almost. And so we've had a chance to try out the best locations, and we don't want to inflate the market too much and just be everywhere.
Yes.
Both from a, marketing strategy and also from a not stretching myself too thin.
Yeah, literally.
Point of view. Yes, exactly. So far it's working. I mean, and all of our partners are great. And then we serve restaurants where we sell them, more in bulk, and they scoop it out for their desserts, and such as Ciao Bella, Tamboli's, Villa Castrioti, just to mention a few that I have on top of my mind. But every partner is listed on ziomatto.com.
And also at FedEx Forum during Grizzlies.
Yeah, that was our big. Yes, that was our big start.
How did that happen?
Well, it was. I mean, I wouldn't say random. Of course, we thought about it, and both Ryan and I are huge Grizzlies fan, and
yes.
So we kind of thought what would go into it, and so we kind of reached out, started asking, and we found that it was, at least as a marketing opportunity, a good in for us to just get in front of a lot of people. We didn't have a storefront at that point, and so we said, let's give it a shot. And it turned out to be great because the main thing, really, you just have your product in front of a lot of people that maybe are not always downtown, they don't live here, but they, at the forum, they get a chance. Exactly. And so it's a way to see what works with people, what doesn't work. And yeah, also a good training in terms of scooping as quick as you can to just get the lines going and not making people miss most of the game. So it's been great. I mean, we're going into season number 4, I believe, this coming October will be.
I feel like every season the Grizzlies and FedEx Forum roll out kind of a slate of a couple of local vendors, and they've been through kind of a lot. I feel like sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. So I feel like 4 years is actually
we're very happy.
A long time.
Agreed.
Yeah. So you just kind of pitched it.
Yeah, we pitched
Grizzlies,
it. We met with the organization and just figured out a good location for us, what would work with them. And yeah, so far it's been great. And I guess other than a couple of one season where the team wasn't good, but even then we were doing good. So, having a team that is also exciting. And also it's just it's fun because, I love being around the Grizzlies.
It's just fun to go.
Yes.
Regardless. FAQs. Difference between gelato and ice cream.
Yes. Simplest way of answering is, gelato is it's got less fat and less sugar in the recipe than ice cream. It has less air, so it packs more flavor. It's served a little bit warmer than ice cream. So the temperature for gelato is about, 10 Fahrenheit, 12. So it's a little creamier.
You said 10 or 12 Fahrenheit?
Yeah, something around.
I'm writing this down.
Absolutely. But,
so that also means when you buy it from the grocery store and eat it at home, you're not getting the same experience.
In a way, it's true because, if you buy it at some of the places, for example, where we had to stop selling, it's because the freezers were kept too cold for gelato. Of course, they have to keep it at a temperature that works for all of their product.
Yes.
And so for quality control, sometimes it's better to say maybe we don't have to sell it somewhere where the temperature is not right, so that people can get it only where it's guaranteed to have, at least.
You don't want icy gelato.
That's the thing. At home you have the luxury of just bringing it out, taking it out of the freezer a little early and just let it. But it's not as good as a freshly scooped. So where you can find it, we know that it has a good temperature and people can really experience the good stuff.
And so why gelato for you? Like, I don't know, you were here in the froyo craze, and I actually got icy gelato several times at froyo places, but that's my fault for getting gelato at a froyo place because they're different. you chose this, I'm assuming, because of where you grew up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was always something that, I missed, and, I love to share what comes from my culture, and so something that I'm passionate about, I think it's a lot easier to sell
Yes.
For people, because I'm really excited about it, and I love doing. I love being able to promote something. Gelato is very popular. It's not like something that
you have to convince people.
To convince everybody that comes to the shop. Say, I've been to Italy, so this is what I've tried the real thing, and that's the thing. I want to offer the real thing, and so something that I'm super familiar with helps me.
And you have to be passionate about it to get up. What time do you get up every day, or when you make your batches?
I start early. I'm an early bird anyway. As I said, I have a little one that doesn't like to sleep in, and so I'm always up early. And so I go to the shop always around 7:30 or 8. I'm there on an average, definitely until 4 or 5. I cover the first hours of the opening hours, which is always we always open at noon. And then we have employee and staff that comes in a little bit later. Sometimes I have to stay late, but that's the nature of
owning your own
business, and you just do what you need to do.
I was downtown a couple of weeks ago for the trolley night, which is so funny because there's not trolleys right now. It doesn't matter. I don't think I ever rode a trolley at a trolley night. It's all about walking around and going from gallery to gallery, shop to shop, and checking out. And there were so many people. I haven't seen that many people packing out South Main since, that would have been a busy night, even sort of pre-pandemic.
Yes.
That was probably a great night for you guys.
It was trolley nights have always been good, and last year was the first year we had the shop. So we opened in April of 24, and so from May, June, July, and all those, between being the new kids on the block and the fact that people were really craving to be out, I think they were great. And this year we were pleasantly surprised again. It's great. People love being out all together.
Yes.
And so it's always a beautiful feeling of when you see that everybody's just walking around, and seeing people out makes you feel like you want to walk around, and it's very contagious. And so, trolley nights are great. I wish we could have trolley night every week. At least,
So we mentioned your colleague Ryan Watt, and he sells the gelato in Nashville, your business partner. Is that right? What is that his role?
Yes. Ryan came on board almost immediately after I started the company, and shortly after, he and his wife and his kids, they all moved to Nashville. So we had to figure out, okay, what are we doing? And Nashville offers us another opportunity. So when he got settled, we figured out, okay, let's try to do something there. And so we sell over there too. He has lots of location, and does a lot of farmers market events. Catering is our focus a lot lately. And so anybody listening that needs something for catering, from birthdays to, baby showers, all the way to corporate things, we're available. And so we moved the gelato to Nashville, and at the moment it's just no
catering
brick and mortar.
And pop-up. Yeah. Okay, so he, in his email pitch, he said, our shop in South Main opened last year. We're only 1 year in. Customer response is great. Terrific Google reviews and enthusiastic feedback. But foot traffic in the area, which again is in the central station, sort of across G.E. Patterson from Ernestine Hazel's, that corner, go toward the farmer's market area from the corner.
Yes.
That's where you are. So he's saying foot traffic is way down post-pandemic. Mm-hmm. We know that about downtown. And he said customers are largely from the neighborhood or tourists. Most Memphians I speak with have no idea we exist. So that's Ryan saying that. I wanted to get your thoughts on that, and what are some of the challenges that you're facing, or what's good and what's bad about having something in a spot like that?
Yeah, the spot, oddly enough, before they started renovations for the central station and to turn it into a hotel. I used to live in there, in that building. My apartment is actually the unit right above the shop.
Oh,
so
wow.
I always had this thought, okay, this would be a great location. This was pre-pandemic, of course. And, downtown, I wouldn't say that it's ever been as, populated by foot traffic.
Right, not quite bustling.
Exactly. But, before pandemic, it was definitely better. And so we've eyed this particular spot for a while. And the problem is really just the foot traffic. And so we rely a lot on customers that live in the neighborhood, and we still get, after a year, the people say, oh yeah, I've always walked by and I never stopped in. So
yes.
we're capturing slowly all the people who are coming in. But we also have to make ourselves known, At some point we'll start, I don't know, with just smoke signals or something from outside.
Flares.
We'll figure something out to be as visible as we can. We have tables outside. We have signs that point to our door. And then we have arcade across the street that gets a lot of traffic. We have the occasional large groups at the escape rooms, and the Civil Rights Museum, of course, attracts people. We have Devour, the dessert shop, and but we're all trying to work together to make at least those couple of blocks of South Main more populated, because if you get closer to Beale, and there's definitely more foot traffic. I think so. That's the downside of this. The upside of being there is that it feels like a neighborhood, because we have all those apartments. So we have a lot of regular customers. And fortunately, a sign of successful operation is that a lot of people come back and become regulars. And so if you rely on a hardcore of regulars, and then you add the tourists, the occasional visitors, etc., you can grow a sustainable thing. It's always a search and a struggle to find more customers, selling more volume. But, we are totally new to that business, and I think we're learning fast. Sometimes we make mistakes, but so far it's, I think we're not regretting it. We're still very passionate and very committed.
Of course.
And but it's encouraging when people respond very well to the product you're selling.
Yes.
And it makes you feel like, okay, at least that part we got it down.
They just need to know.
Yes.
I mean, I talk to so many people, if I say anything about something downtown, they're like, oh, I don't go downtown. I don't know about it. And I understand it's hard. You're busy. You don't have time to just go out on field trips or exploring.
No, exactly. If you're not downtown, but anyway, I rarely venture out east because, I'm downtown. Yeah. I live downtown. I work downtown. But there's also like a perception of downtown that doesn't match the reality of it. And I think that it's very important that people understand that downtown works and would work a lot better even if people just came downtown more. Yeah. Like anywhere, if you feel, if you look around and you see a lot of people just sitting on patios and walking around.
Like you said, it's contagious.
It's so contagious.
Gross, yeah.
And it would be very helpful. So I'm glad that we had like Felicia Suzanne's that recently opened, and so getting more and more businesses coming down would be great. And so
I also think people don't necessarily know what all's down there. If they went downtown 3 or 4 years ago, or they only went once for an Orpheum thing, they didn't look around. They don't know that there's like the bagel shop.
Yes. Hive is great.
Hive Bagel. They don't know that there's you guys. They don't know, necessarily some of the newer places. So that's my official encouragement.
I second it.
Okay, so I'm reminding everyone this is the Sound Bites Daily Memphian Food Drink Dining Podcast. If you're listening on WYXR, keep listening for the sidebar with our Daily Memphian CEO, Eric Barnes, after this. Please subscribe, leave us a comment, send me an email, and listen to this on dailymemphian.com. There's a little story that comes out every Saturday with every new episode, including this one. We are talking to Matteo Servente. He's the founder, owner of Zio Matto Gelato, which has a shop downtown in Central Station and is also available at places like High Point Grocery, South Point Grocery, Miss Cordelia's, or Cordelia's Market now. Yes, I'm showing my age. Okay, we have some time left, so I've got actually a bunch of sort of quick questions, but we can talk as much as you like. And then I want to get some recommendations from you. Right. So I actually did a really quick, super informal poll in our newsroom at the Daily Memphian from our reporters and digital deskers about their favorite gelato flavor. Tiramisu got the most votes, followed by pistachio and a strawberry cheesecake, which someone added to my list as a tie. Then we had a smattering of votes for salted caramel, which is my personal favorite. Coffee, espresso. Chocolate got no votes. This was a tiny sample size, but chocolate got no votes. So what is the most popular flavor that you see?
Of all of our flavors, I would say that the one that sells the most is our stracciatella, which is a chocolate chip, sweet cream and chocolate chip.
Mm-hmm. It's like the classic.
It's a classic flavor that is really delicate, and and it always is the flavor that people are drawn to because of the name, and people ask for how you pronounce that, and so it always spurs a conversation.
Say it one more time for us.
Stracciatella.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not going to try it.
No, it's okay. Everybody has.
Yes. I'll try it in private.
That's all right. And so
that's the most popular.
Because it always encourage, the whole conversation then spurs people to just give it a shot, and everybody likes it. Of all the other flavors you mentioned, I do agree that the salted caramel is one of our stronger one. We just launched this delicious white chocolate raspberry mix that we cannot have enough in the shop, and we're always looking for recommendations as people come up with ideas and say, oh, why don't you carry this? Sometimes the obvious answer is because we only have 14 buckets that we can put out. And so 14 flavors is our limit. But also, I've gone through the process of trying certain recipes. And if I'm not happy, they're not coming out. So
I'm going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
But I want to know, what is your favorite flavor to eat?
To eat, I always get a combination of our pistachio and gianduja, which is like a chocolate hazelnut Nutella-like flavor that is very popular where I'm from in Torino. That's like our
your signature flavor.
Yeah, signature flavor from Torino, and I love it. I grew up always. That's really my go-to combo every time. So I always try to push that. But I'm, as I said, I'm very happy with everything that we put out. There are flavors that are not my cup of tea necessarily, or cup of gelato, and it's you can try it, and I've had enough people try it before it goes out on to the public that I know that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it all can't be just for you. I mean, I guess it could be, but
no, I mean, yes, it could be. Honestly, that's really important to me. Is that would I eat it?
Yes.
Would I want to go out? And it applies to how the shop looks, what we do with everything. Is it something that I would want to experience? Because otherwise I just wouldn't have fun. And I always try to apply that since my filmmaking career started. It's just, before I put anything out, would I want to at least spend some time watching this or not? If not, it doesn't matter. I don't have to do it.
So what is your favorite flavor to make and why? Or is there not enough of a difference?
The difference is very minimal because once you add the flavor, the order of making things is pretty much the same. I have to say that this white chocolate raspberry flavor is one of our first attempt at this variegate thing, where you kind of mix the last bit of raspberry just enough to have it around, but it's not like a solid color flavor. Yes. And so just that. It almost feels like a little painting, or you're just kind of like a kid with a crayon, just putting little stripes of color into this white chocolate mix, which is fun, and it's pretty, yeah.
How do you add the white chocolate?
The white chocolate, it's a paste, let's call it that gets added, and then once you add that to all the other ingredients, you leave the raspberry last, and so you put a couple of spoonfuls of those and just barely mix it with, something thin, like, I don't know.
So you have like your gelato, like sort of
Base.
cream
Yes, exactly.
base, and then you put chocolate in its appropriate texture form.
Correct.
The white chocolate.
Yes, and then you add that, the last bit of color. So it's all.
So what's the most underrated flavor in your opinion?
I mean, we have a flavor that is the stracciatella without the chocolate chip. It's called fior di latte, and that's just like the sweet cream with no flavoring. And again, people are curious about the name, but they're not as daring because it's just like, yes, it tastes like, the best way to describe it would be almost like a frozen whipped cream. So
that sounds good to me.
It's delicious. So it's but in a way, what you were saying earlier about the chocolate, it's just something that, well, for one thing, people may not mention it, but they buy it a lot. So
yes.
A lot of people buy chocolate regardless.
When they're standing there at the counter and they're like,
yeah, I'll get
but
some
if you ask them their favorite, they'll try to come up with something cuter.
Yeah, exactly. So
Sure.
chocolate, in a way, is like, because it's there and it's a staple and it's always good, it gets underrated just because of how obvious it is.
Right. You have to make a good chocolate gelato, though, even if
there's
people
no way
are not.
around it. Yes.
Yes. So what flavor or flavors have you tried to make, maybe, but didn't quite work? If you don't mind sharing that. Like someone said, oh, can you make me a whatever?
Yeah, well, I'm always looking for things. I can tell you that the one that I struggle the most...
Your white whale of gelatos.
the white whale. I'm not chasing any white whale yet.
Okay.
Or at the moment. I've had a hard time nailing down the peanut butter chocolate chip at first. And so that one was the one. Now we have it out, and it's been out for a while, but that was the one that I was like, okay, let's try it again. Because it was not ever really just where it needed to be. Mm-hmm. And then it's also fun, sometimes when you rarely have a lot of time to experiment, but when you do have fun, that's kind of an exciting part of the process, figuring out how to perfect and how to tweak. Because,
what are some of the suggestions people have given you? I'm trying to come up with a crazy one.
Well, cheesecake is actually one that we've thought about for a while, just because key lime pie is also another flavor that we've had discussions. And again, key lime pie is not something that is super popular in Italy, so.
Right.
I've never made it myself just as a pie. And I know it's not super hard. At least, you look online, you find recipes that look doable. And we are always looking for maybe partners to just have, collaboration. If I don't know how to make something, maybe something can help me with the ingredients that are needed for that. We had for Nua at 17 Berkshire, she used to make our macarons, and we sell macarons gelato sandwiches.
Yes.
And so it's just, and finding other people that are passionate about what they do it with the same passion and commitment that we try to have. It's always great because, you kind of try to step up your game to match whatever they give you. And
yes. Yeah. Earlier this year, we had Nuha from 17 Berkshire on the podcast. And then last week, we actually talked with Savannah Kinney, who owns Jacques Louis Bakery that has taken over the former 17 Berkshire space in Overton Square. And I'm hearing a lot of similar things from you and Savannah. Also, we didn't mean to do a dessert theme, but maybe we'll stick with it. Just the passion and attention to detail, and the fact that it's something that you personally love and enjoy and have a soft spot for whatever reason, that now you're like, okay, I want to share that. I need to share that with other people. And being a smart business owner about it, that's our mini theme. So you already mentioned the macaron sandwiches, but tell me some gelato. I said gelato applications is what I wrote down, but desserts that use gelato.
Oh, yeah. You can actually get a lot of them from us. We make some delicious cake, if I say that myself.
Gelato cake?
Yeah, gelato cakes.
Okay, is that like mixed in with cake, or is it like layers, like an ice cream cake?
It's an ice cream cake. So we have a crust at the bottom that is made with, crumble cones, and that's by itself is already very, very good. And then we have layers of cakes of gelato. The most popular one, the one we currently have at the shop, are pistachio and gianduja, which is, as I said, it's like my favorite combo. And then you have crunch pistachios and chocolate on top. We have a dairy-free option of a coconut and blueberry gelato. We make a tiramisu cake. We also make tiramisu, regular tiramisu that we sell at the shop that I make myself as well, which is the only not gelato-based product, but it's still very popular.
That is really good to know.
Yeah, it's really good.
So do you make other things at home? Do you cook at home?
No. We make everything in the back of our shop where we have the kitchen. Yeah.
But I mean, like, do you cook for yourself and your family?
Yes,
like,
absolutely. No, at home I cook a lot.
What are your favorite things to make at home?
I mean, I'm very, very passionate about making pasta.
Yeah.
Pasta is really my thing, and
from scratch.
From scratch, not always, but yes, I have some a very good group of friends that I love to make pasta with and for, and so that's kind of my. It's a form of therapy, I think.
That's relatable.
Yeah.
Do you have a couple of places that you recommend that you love to go out to, restaurants in Memphis? A couple or something really great you've had recently?
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of pasta, I love Tamboli's just as a regular. They were also our first customer that I was selling gelato to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I talked to Miles a while before starting this thing. And so he was one of our first customers.
What do you order there?
I love their, they used to have a cacio e pepe, which last time I was there was not on the menu, but when they have it, I really love that. I recently went to Catherine and Mary's and they had some fried polenta dish that was something that I haven't forgotten about.
Yes, I have had that recently, and it is really good.
It's dangerous.
I don't know why it's so good.
Oh, I mean, I know why, because they're good, but it's I don't know. I don't know why everybody doesn't make that. I love Hog and Omni's pizza, but there's so many places that I like. I'm a fan of simple. I love Maciel's tacos. I mean, I like to try a lot of different things. I'm not stuck in my habits, so I try to give a chance to a lot of places. Yes.
Well, this has been a very delicious conversation. Thank you so much for sharing all the details and the passion about Zia Matto Gelato. That's just about all the time that we have for Sound Bites today. Tune in on WXI Radio Thursdays at 11. Listen on iTunes or Spotify or dailymemphian.com. Thank you so much, Matteo. That's it.
Thank you, Holly.